Yeah, so this is actually, of all of the games we played so far, this is the one that I have the most familiarity with, actually.
She says right as she goes and picks a top tier.
And I do know that QB is really good in this game. I mean, so I had picked QB and played this on like old Fight Game, like a long time ago.
Yeah.
Really badly. If I was playing today, I would immediately pick Gallon.
Right.
Instead of QB, because Gallon is as top tier, but way easier to play.
Well,
like smarter now.
If I had a character in here, if I had a character in this game named Patrick, I would also pick that character just for the hell of it, right? So you got to represent for the B. And actually, Gallon, as it turns out, was when I messed around in VSav like with my friends back in the day. Gallon was the first character I was drawn to, because he's like a kung fu werewolf.
Yeah, he's got like, God, how do you do her? Yeah, he's like a kung fu werewolf. He's got beast cannons, really good. Oh my god. I didn't even mean to attack that. God, what are my buttons? So like, also I remember that like, for whatever reason, our local movie theater when I was a kid, they had Vampire Savior, and it was Vampire Savior.
Oh wow!
It wasn't Darkstalker 3. It like definitely said that on the cabinet. I remember
cool.
because when
So
my
they had the
Christian high school
Japanese
friends,
like inserts in the board and stuff, huh?
Yeah, because it said that, because I remember, and I know this for a fact because one of my Christian high school friends was very offended by it at the time.
But you're trying to save the vampires. That seems within the acceptable bounds.
Need a savior as well. What the heck? Although if Jetta is the vampire savior, then that's probably bad for everyone. Well.
Yeah, Gallon.
I said most familiar, but probably I'm.
I mean, so when I messed around with this game, I picked Gallon. I was like, oh, he's like Blanca with chain combos. Like, I don't need to do that much. I don't actually know what makes this character good. I do remember seeing that Sasquatch is like hands down the most, like just the most painful character to deal with.
Yeah, because it's okay. I found my button.
There you go.
Actually, there it is. So like, okay, so we talked a little bit about how this is the Proto Air Dasher.
Yeah.
And what's interesting about it is that we've got like, this is my jump in button.
Yeah.
We've got like, a lot of like important Air Dasher concepts.
Mm-hmm.
We have like guard cancels. We've got like push block.
Yep.
If I had any idea how to do either of those things.
I think push block is like you have to attack press an attack button on like the same frame or something that you're getting.
There's a very weird rhythm to it. Actually, like there's like an optimal like pianoing.
So yeah, I was reading up on this on the wiki a little bit. Shouts to Mizumi, where it's like, yeah, so there's like a chance that you can get the push block, and it is per input, but it's like per input per frame, right? So if you're pressing 3 buttons at the same time, it's 1 input, but if you piano, then you'll get a bigger chance. Oh, and then there's Dark Force. Yeah. Ow! Also, Rose just got announced or just got revealed for Street Fighter V, and we got a whole bunch of Rose scarves in the background. Yeah.
Oh,
there you go.
Whoop. But one thing that's like really interesting about this game that it doesn't have is universal air dashes.
Yeah.
However, I think what's super interesting about this game is that they kind of like figured out that air dashes were in fact almost essential for how you were supposed to play this game.
Oh my god.
I love her little drooling in her victory animation. Yeah, she's going to eat you.
Yeah.
QB is so scary.
But she looks so cute.
I know, that's why I love her so much. But it's very interesting to watch, like, and you kind of see that, like, I don't know too much about Vampire and Vampire Hunter, but what I do know is that, like, air movement options become more and more prevalent as the iterations of the game go on.
Yeah.
And the top tier of this game is defined almost exclusively by who can air dash. Or who has, like, Sasquatch doesn't have an air dash, but he has a short hop.
Yeah, he's got
like,
the hops, right? Yeah.
Right. Yeah, it's about, like, it's kind of like, it's pretty brutal. Like, it's something that, like, I think characters.
Ooh, we got some buttons.
KOF characters. Yeah, this is buttons.
Yeah. Hey, Cutter FGC, thank you so much for the 6 months, homie. Appreciate it. So I just picked Bishamon. I haven't really played him before, but I picked him because I remember seeing that Daigo used to play him when he played VSav.
Oh, that makes sense.
Which buttons? It's nice. But this is like right here is really interesting because there's a major asymmetry between these two characters, right? Like it doesn't look like I have any air movement to speak of.
Yeah, you definitely don't. Like you have command grabs, which is the other interesting thing about you.
Oh.
Oh wow, I can combo into that.
Oh my god.
Woo! Okay, I remember. Yeah, this is just a hit grab.
Alright. Oh, interesting. There's a charge attack here? Yeah.
Yeah, she's kind of like... QB is a little bit like Air Dash Chun-Li, I think. In some ways. What else do I have? I know she's got some, like...
Oh. Okay, we got a ranged low slash. That's cool. Hey.
Oh, yeah. Her dash has homing on it, which is, like, one of the reasons why it's so good. And so she can do these, like, kind of triangle jumps. That's the main thing. The main thing I know about QB is you press medium punch as much as you can.
Oh, get out of here. Oh, that was big damage. I'll take it.
Yeah, that's
I got all
big
kinds of
damage. Woo! Oh, no.
Ah!
Woo! Oh.
Damn.
God, and like maybe some of the best pixel animation of all time.
Oh yeah. No, this game is beautiful to watch unfold.
And Jetta, God, there's so many anime game characters that come back to Jetta.
Yep.
It's amazing that like he's not even like considered maybe a like super good character, but his like, I mean.
But a lot of what he has just feels so special and so. I mean, like Raven, right? Raven is basically like.
Yeah, this is Raven.
Yeah.
Like 100%. Like, and there's some other characters too. Oh, like who's the character? Actually, they made it's really funny actually. Probably not a coincidence, but Grand Blue's Belial, who's the like evil, evil hot guy. He's got the exact same projectile as Jada. And Jada's like, I think it's his kick. Yeah, you've even got like Dizzy's fucking unblockable is the same move that he has.
There we go.
Oh shit. He's got this incredible. Yeah, he's just got a really cool playstyle.
I've always been kind of sad that like whenever Jetta makes it into other games, they suck, right? Because the only other games I remember him ever making it in are Marvel Infinite and Capcom Fighting Evolution or Capcom Fighting Jam.
Yeah, he's one of the more iconic Darkstalkers characters for sure, but yeah, for whatever reason, he just doesn't seem to. But he has all of these like kind of like really fun multi-hitting normals. He's like he's one of the last characters they made, so he's got like a real quality of animation difference from like Morgan.
I cannot stress enough as someone who currently does a lot of work in and around fighting game character production, the order in which you make stuff generally is perhaps the biggest determinant of whether something is going to be cool or not.
Really?
Yeah.
What's your opinion on what like works?
I mean, it's entirely because the team has to learn how to work together, right?
Oh yeah. In terms of like what you mean like not in order.
Yeah. I just mean like barring like unfortunate time crunch situations that would force you to like cut corners or whatever. Like your team's gonna have to figure out how to actually do all this shit, right? And once you get deeper in the cast, like that's when people kind of got things figured out.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Like, because you have to kind of like figure it out. Like,
yeah.
You need to know like what works and what doesn't. Oh my god, this guy's so fast. Maybe I think this guy is actually a little bit more Chun-Li.
He definitely feels like Button's the character.
Yeah, he really is.
Oh. Oh no. Oh.
Yeah, we've even got like we got chain combos. We have like you can tell like Gallant's got like this like Morgan like Eno's like hover dash. Like it's just so interesting to see how they're like it's almost like they were figuring out the concept of the air dash in real time.
I mean, I'm sure they were.
Right, yeah, they definitely were. They were like, oh, like we want this to be faster, like air movement can be safer. We have like blocking in air. We've got that concept. We don't want it to be maybe. I wonder what the contemporary how this feels like relative to. Oh no.
Oh.
Oh jeez.
No! I wanted it too much. Wanted you to catch these hands. Or these hands to catch you, I guess? Ah.
Oh my god, I love that victory. He's simply vibing. Up wolf.
Up wolf. That's right, that's the anti-air.
How many games have an up dog? Because it's more than a few.
Yeah, Sam Show. This game.
Oh yeah, Sam Show has up dog.
Yeah.
Guilty Gear definitely has it.
But only XX, right?
Right. Well, Zappa's got up dog.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's got to be the X series. Yeah. Oh damn.
Yeah.
All out. Oh my god.
Fundamental though. Who says anime games don't have fundamentals? Oh, the pokes.
God.
Oh, nice. Hey.
Oh my god.
I do like that they draw this distinction in chain combos where they don't let you go into specials, at least generally not, as far as I can tell. I think there's some ways around it. Oh. I don't think I know how to do Midnight Bliss, Yuzu, sorry.
Oh my god. The teleport dash.
Yep. Another classic.
Oh my god.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Wait. Oh. Oh, there it was. Nope.
What? Isn't it a raging demon?
Yeah, that was it. Well, it's a different raging demon.
God, I love this victory.
Yeah.
So fun. There's a lot of vibing.
That sure was a
Very
screech.
Lilith's really hard to use.
What's Lilith's deal? Like, how does she differ from Morgan?
She differs quite a bit. I think she's considered better than Morgan.
Mm-hmm. That was cool.
But she has a super jump. A lot of her like projectiles are like, so she's got like this. She has this like kind of like short range projectile.
Yeah.
That takes a lot of time. So it's like, it's very interesting because it's like a sort of move that doesn't look like it would be very good, but it actually is one of the reasons why she's better than Morgan, I think.
Stop! Oh, you got me. No. Oh my god.
Oh yeah, she's got like she's got kind of like Street Fighter
does she not have the hover dash?
No, she does not. No,
Interesting.
she doesn't. She is. I mean, she's interesting because like in high level play, people basically use her Luminous Illusion, which is her Raging Demon, as an air dash, just to like kind of control space.
Oh fuck. Oh wow. The demon supers are 5 meters? Oh shit.
I wonder if that's the case for Lilith, because I think it's
Maybe not. Maybe I just wasted my meter doing other shit. Oh! I like the health regen mechanic in this game too.
Yeah, the health, like, that's a super interesting mechanic. That helps make it feel really fast because there's...
Yeah, you can crank damage, but then if there's a little bit of a lull in the action, then you give people a chance to like lick their wounds a little bit.
Right. Yeah, it's kind of like a proto risk gauge, honestly.
Yeah. And to me, like, it's cool because you start to see people thinking about like, hey, how do systems that frame like the resources in this game change the pacing, you know? Like, you could think of that as like a precursor to negative penalty and tension pulse.
Yeah, definitely.
And this movement just feels great. Everyone's like slipping and sliding around.
So fast. It's really, really fast. Just by default, honestly. Oh yeah, I did a. Oh my god.
Big damage.
Yeah, Lilith does it. Lilith is not a low-level character. No-level player's friend. Let me try.
Oh, is the screaming sound the quarter? The token sound?
Yeah, it's the token sound. Oh, we're on Turbo 3.
Oh.
I think Lele is the only character that actually has a
an air dash.
Real
in the
dash.
most literal possible form.
And it is like really funny how she just does like.
Yeah. Oh shit! That projectile hit high.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Check it out.
she's kind of got like a fast.
Yep.
Although I think it's purely visual.
Oh. Oh.
But she's got this wonderful feeling like everything hits 10 times.
Yeah. it's that is definitely one of those things which, like, even like the 2-hit roundhouse that Ryu and Ken have in Street Fighter 2, right? The close roundhouse. I remember seeing that for the first time and just being like, oh, that means this button's tight. I want to do it alive. It's a free combo.
Right,
It hits twice, you know?
Ah, shit. Oh. Oh my god. Yeah, see, that's the thing. You can get fucking washed.
Yep.
Oh god. Alright.
Y'all thought Guilty Gear Strive was the first anime game with big damage? I'm just doing 3-hit combos, light, medium, heavy.
Yeah, for real. Yeah,
Dimitri, like, who the fuck is Slayer?
Honestly, it's kind of crazy. Alright. Let's see if I can finally beat you. Oh my god, probably not.
Oh. Also, the value of a DP that just goes straight up is not to be underestimated.
Yeah, god. Wow, it's got a pretty big hitbox for something that looks tiny.
Oh, yeah. Hey.
Oh my god.
Oh,
no! You got me! That's unblockable, ain't it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Okay. I was like, how does this work again? Yeah, people have like kind of like anti-air buttons that like make a lot of sense. Oh my god. Oh my god,
that
fuck!
was cool. Oh. Oh, nice. the lack of a real round break too is one of those things that gets me every time.
Yeah,
like they just keep the momentum going.
It's just so blazing fast.
Yeah,
right.
And that's like an integral part of a fighting game, right? Like one of the hard parts of making fighting games is that like a lot of the appeal of the genre is in how they let you go like at the speed of your brain, right? These games do not wait for you, but these games will often let you go as fast as you are capable of going, you know? Oh my god, that was sick. And a lot of that is like, as you get more and more complex animations, right? As we switch from 2D to 3D, and all of a sudden it's easier to do longer animations, like the pace of the game slowed down a lot, right? Because especially 3D animators aren't trying to work with like, 3-frame startups, 4-frame startups. Like you can't do shit like that. And it definitely looks weirder in 3D to animate that quickly than I think it does in 2D.
Oh, God. Not the right button. Oh my god.
Hey, Row Man, thank you for the gift sub, homie. Appreciate it. Welcome to the crew, Bonnet Head Jill. Whew. Ah! I keep on thinking it's coming from outside. I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah. I'm like thinking. I'm thinking about my move here.
Think about how to hunt some vampires.
Yeah, I'm really gotta kill him. Oh my god.
Oh, those buttons are paying off though. Oh shit. There we go. Ah.
Oh my god.
The schmicks.
Yeah, but I'm losing it all. Like, yeah, that your like teleport thing is like really messing with me.
Yep. It's a lot longer than Slayer's. Like he covers like 2/3 of the screen, which is kind of wild.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Oh, fuck. Oh, nice. Woo. Oh, I guess the Raging Demon input supers make a little bit more sense here because you have chain combos. So
yeah.
Like as long as they have like a light punch, medium punch in there, you can start the combo. That I never realized that.
Yeah, so I think that's kind of like generally why, that's why the Lilith thing kind of works. Is like she can end her pressure with Raging Demon, and like somebody can get out of that, but they can. It still lets her pressure them and continually get closer.
And Dimitri can do his out of fucking dash. That's wild.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Nice.
Oh my god.
Woo. Oh no. Oh damn.
Oh my god. What?
You even.
All right. I want a rematch.
It looked like you even teched that throw, but because techs still do damage in this game, you ate it.
Yeah.
Damn! Look at the carnivorous plants in the background. It's so cool.
Yeah, I love it.
Like, Capcom has made plenty of amazing fighting games since then, but I don't think any of them have quite had the same degree of personality and just like flavor that this one does. Look,
yeah, I mean,
that's a carnivorous snail in the background eating a fish. How'd it get the fish?
there is a real like, there's like a real like reason I think why this game is like by far like one of the most iconic fighting game character designs of all time. Like people still like draw and like obsess over these characters, like to a degree that I don't think like pretty much any
shit.
I'm trying to beat you for real.
All right.
I'm trying to be quiet.
I mean, I think you're right. Like this game has a degree of love and personality that's felt by the fans that is almost never reciprocated by Capcom itself, right?
Yeah, we still have not seen a follow-up for this.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of don't want to be perfectly honest.
And well, yeah, like, and that has everything to do with the way Capcom has turned out. Like, you know, in general, the change in people's opinion and about their output, right? Like, in the 25 years since this game came out.
The people who like made this game, like it's just like a very different team of like of animators, and like. To be frank, I don't really like the way that like I definitely have not like aesthetically liked any of the Street Fighter, the contemporary Street Fighter.
Yeah.
Neither 4 nor 5. There are things that like I can kind of find that I like and respect about the kind of like interestingness of their house style.
Yeah.
But it just doesn't match what I see from like this era of Capcom pixel art, and it gets even better. Like you have like Breath of Fire 4 and like Street Fighter Third Strike. So it's like these characters are so iconic because they are so cartoonish. Yeah. And they would be terrified to make a game that looks as cartoony and anime as this game does. They absolutely would just they would be so scared of that.
Yeah, I mean, and like, yeah, we haven't seen Capcom do anything cartoony in like a pretty long time, right? Especially not in fighting games. Yeah, especially not in fighting games. Like, I mean, I think maybe Arc System Works could do it. Yeah. Like, they obviously wouldn't get the license
but but I think that they have like a better their style and their attention to detail is far closer to like what the artistic team on this game does.
Right.
Than like
look
not
at
to like
this
knock
fucking
like
button.
3D games like, as a oh my god I do love that his whole like half body comes out.
I love that whenever he down backs, he walks backward. That's actually kind of genius. Like, look at this. He's got crouching walks. I'm coming for you.
Oh yeah. God, what? What a freak. Oh damn, yeah, that's right. I can do this in the air. Holy shit.
And like this game's cool also because the normals feel special, right?
Yeah,
it's
like
the difference is not as big as like, oh, I threw a punch or I threw a motherfucking fireball, right?
yeah, this move where I shoot a whole bunch of bees out of my hand is a normal move. Like it's so wacky too. Like they were really like, damn, a character's body can just become whatever animation we want it to for this attack. Like,
and that's a much bigger pain in the ass to do in 3D.
Yeah, I can imagine. Though, like, it's pretty cool because like this energy at least is what I see in like Guilty Gear's animation.
Well, because Guilty Gear and the Arxis team is really they're the ones doing most of the like mesh deformation stuff. Right. So like when they're doing something to show like, oh, this you know, like this, maybe a blade trail or a smear or something, like they're actually like adding or showing more like a different chunk of geometry to create that image. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, definitely. And like and yeah, they're basically doing the exact same what you would call for all intents and purposes, like the workflow and the kind of like talent base is just the same as 2D. And like, and you absolutely see it with like Dizzy in particular. I think is probably the most Darkstalker-y character.
Yeah, Raven actually. So I think one of the reasons why why they took so much of the Jetta moveset is he was the character that they got when they first got the ability to stretch character models.
Oh,
so that's why we got Noodly Boy and all his like where he'll like stretch his arms or he'll like cut something on himself to attack with his blood.
Right. Yeah. Like. Yeah, he's able to like really contort his body. I think it's his like down kick is like a very common move in a lot of fighting games actually, where he kind of like descends and then hits all around him.
Yeah.
I remember I found like I did some research because I was like, oh my god, like Byakuya in Uni has that exact move, and so does oh my god, she's like the last boss guy of Blaze Blue has it.
I actually have not played enough Blaze Blue to know.
She's really fucked up. She's the one who has like a she has like, instead of a double jump, she just hovers in air, and then she can like glide on that plane as if it was like a second ground.
Oh shit. That's kind of tight.
And she can do grounded normals in air that way.
Oh wow. That's usually a glitch.
Yeah. Yeah. So she has it like as her thing. Like
that's hilarious.
That's her. And she also has like she's got like a hyper armor move as well. She's a super degenerate character. She's really cool. But people hate her for obvious reasons.
She's really cool, so people hate her,
probably. Yeah, she's like beautiful to watch because her like animations are really good, and like the way that she does her combos looks super cool.
Oh my god.
That is a beautiful combination of wing animations.
And Belletta didn't give a fuck. She's just like, dude.
Yeah. Well,
oh well.
I don't feel bad about that one. Okay.
Wow. You want vibing? Zabel is definitely vibing in his idol.
Yeah.
Look at this shit.
Yeah, he is vibing.
I don't think he knows where he is.
You can tell that this guy is also like an early character, but he also has like a lot of personality to him. Even though his like animations are like way super rough around the edges.
Yeah. And it's funny because like when you look at if we take as fact the possibility that this game was made to demonstrate their ability to like adapt IPs and stuff, right? If you look at like the X-Men Children of the Atom game, which actually maybe we should play that next.
Yeah, maybe.
Like,
yeah, that might be an interesting intro.
Sentinel got a lot of that stuff, and I think Omega Red has a lot of it. But like, I don't know. I mean, Wolverine like goes around, he does cool stuff, but I don't think it's anywhere near. I don't think they put anywhere near as much of the just animation craft into X-Men as they did this game, and X-Men still looks amazing. Yeah, X-Men actually looks the best when you look at the original art from about the X-Men characters from the fighting games. Like, they kind of only got worse when they reused the sprites in other games.
Yeah.
Whew. I mean, Alpha 1 was rushed, Mobius. I think they said the initial time budget was something like 3 months or 6 months or something on that shit. Yeah. Oh shit. Do I just have a chainsaw out? Okay.
Yeah, I think you do. I think that's his whole deal. I bet so you could tell that he was an early one too, because they were like, hell no, we're not doing like a unique idol for every character's Dark Force. Are you kidding me? Oh my god, you could just do that all over.
For the low price of 1 meter. Ah. But I ran out of gas.
I think his wind animations are so good.
So I'm curious. You played this game at the movie theater growing up. Did you like come back to this game?
Yeah, I mean, I remember I played the PlayStation version just by myself, pretty obsessively.
Yeah.
Tried to do all the special moves. The PS1 release of this game, so it had the characters that were cut from Vampire Hunter.
Oh right, yeah. Is it Donovan and Pyron, I think?
Yeah, Donovan, Pyron, and the robot guy. There's like a clay pot robot guy.
Oh!
He looks like the...
Wait, was that Huitzel? Who am I thinking of?
You might have...
yeah, Huitzel,
like
alright.
Phobos or something?
Yeah, I think...
Like, I'm thinking of the...
Oh wait, was Phobos his name in the US version, maybe? I don't know. Are they
yeah, I think it was something like that. But he looks like one of those gyroids from Animal Crossing. Probably because I think he's based on one. I think he's like an alien, and so is Pyron, actually. If I remember the lore. It also had like a sprite editor that I remember playing with. Like you could like edit the color of every like color value in like a sprite and create your own custom one in a single player.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it was pretty neat. But like, again, like the characters were really iconic and made like a big impression on me. Like I got haunted by a lot of arcade games as a kid. I remember actually like one of my first like real nightmares that I remember as a child was this arcade game called Attacks, which was like and I didn't even find out what it was called until like years later when I was like, oh, I bet the internet could tell me what that fucking creepy ass game I played.
You sit on those fish eggs.
Your clutch of eggs.
Yep.
He's really vibing in his win pose.
Yeah.
Anyways, it was just kind of like a it was almost like a like Go style game. Like it was meant to be like versus. But it had like this super creepy interface where all of the characters were like these weird, gross, eldritch aliens, and they like spread this goo, and it had this like pulsing heartbeat soundtrack to it.
Whoa.
It scared the shit out of me as a kid.
It's kind of funny how like kids can be so profoundly affected by like a single, you know, an image and a sound or something, right? Like that's enough to do you for a nightmare.
Yeah, but because of that, like that was, I don't think that like made me scared of arcade games generally, because it just made me like, there are like these weird things that you might only see once on like an outing as a kid.
Yeah.
You know? So like you would be like, what the fuck is that? And then you might never see it
again. Until it shows up in a MAME ROM set.
Yeah, right. Until it shows up on MAME and you're like, geez, what the hell was that?
This really fucked me up as a kid.
Yeah, it was like, oh damn, yeah, that traumatized me a little bit. Where, like, but Darkstalkers I think was a little bit more available, and so like, and I think I encountered it at the age where I was like, oh my god, the internet exists.
Okay.
I can like look at all this cool like Darkstalkers art. Oh my god, it looks so sick. These characters are awesome. I'm obsessed with it.
Dope.
Which I think is like maybe a lot of people's experiences with Darkstalkers specifically. So,
where did you find Darkstalkers art? Holy shit.
I mean, like, it was in those days, it would be just somebody's random web shrine, you know? They'd be like, oh yeah, there's this art book that exists. Here's like a scan of something from it. Like somebody's like Joe's Scans Emporium. Which is how like I found all of the all these clamp art books when I was a kid, you know? Because I was like major clamp stan when I was a kid.
Aevee,
I still
talk clamp sometime.
Clamp, let's talk clamp. I mean, I will still. Oh my god! I was on the
yeah, that was the opening I needed.
Well, Phobos is the Japanese name. I don't understand why they changed the eggs. Really are super fucked up. I don't understand why they changed so many of the Japanese names to other names that were equally hard for Americans to pronounce. Like changing Lele to Senko.
Yeah.
I don't understand what went into that.
Yeah. I have to guess that like they want the character to read as Chinese, and there's probably different ways to make a name read Chinese. But
yeah. Oh my god.
I'm really digging whatever this attack is. The fucking shooting from the gills.
Yeah, the animation on it is incredible. Oh my god, I love this little raw Rasputin animation.
By the way, why is that song like blowing up on fucking TikTok now?
Oh my god, because like you need like a TikTok song in order to create content on TikTok. That's one of the things that I know about it. And that's a real catchy song. So it doesn't surprise me that the teens are, oh my god, getting air thrown. Oh my god, getting poisoned.
Oh no.
Doing an air throw of my own, perhaps. Oh my god, maybe not. How? Wow, I love how that just like vibrates you up.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Hold these vibes, Aevee.
Yeah, those are some real. You are truly vibing upon me. Oh my god, you punished me even though I got you. Oh my god, I can't.
Oh no. Oh shit. Oh wow.
Yeah, I think that's why. I'm like, wait, why is that? Oh wow, I think you can cancel into specials pretty easily. Oh my god. Woo. Oh! Give me a little more to work with.
Oh no. Okay, I'll take the time
damn
over.
Well, the timer is actually really fast considering.
I saw in the like the update that nobody likes, which it cracks me up that this game like is of the age where they're just updates where people are like, boo, we're not playing this. But they add some time to the timer on knockout so that you presumably you have fewer timeouts.
Yeah, I feel like at high level play, this I don't think this gets too many timeouts.
Yeah, I would imagine not.
Oh my god. Okay. Whoa. Okay.
Oh shit. Okay, there we go. Oh. Oh. Oh, that's kind of fast. I like that. Oh, not great as an anti-air though. Oh, nice. Oh my god. Doll. Maybe it's just because I don't play this game, but Sasquatch looks so cute.
Yeah, he's really adorable. Like, I like that he's kind of like a nice... He's probably the nicest guy in Darkstalkers,
Yeah.
honestly.
He kind of reminds
like,
me of Eddie a little bit, because he just is communicating so much with his mouth.
Yeah, Eddie's really cute. Even in, like, even though, like, Strive, he's like probably the creepiest he's ever been in Strive.
Yeah.
But he's also kind of the cutest he's ever been.
Yeah, no, he's definitely got like mascot vibes a little bit, but he's like creepy mascot, but it's a far cry from the like kind of fucky bat demon dude that we saw in XX, you know?
Yeah, he's kind of like he's way more angular in XX. And I think he's gotten kind of like a little softer with the kind of like just considering like what the Unreal Engine does to character outlines and the way that the shaders work. Oh, who is it who plays? Is it Mighty Mar I'm thinking of? Mighty Mar is the one who plays this character. So, Pat, do you remember that short story I wrote about a low-tier fighting game character coming to life?
I do.
Okay.
At least I'm pretty sure. That sounds familiar.
Yeah, I read it for like, I think it was called Ghost in the Machine or something like that. It was forever ago.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'm told by other people it's an okay story.
You want link it in chat?
Oh god, no.
Okay.
I would love. It's one of those things where I'm like, it was really bad, but other people maybe like it. So, which is how I feel like about a lot of my writing. However,
we're rolling that blunt. Let's go.
I like wanted this character. Like I was like, oh, it would be really cool. I wanted to write a story about a fighting game character that was really weird and really bad, that only like a super hardcore person would want to play. And so I based her completely on Anna Kiris because I had just found out about that character and I was like, oh my god, because there were like, there's Mighty Mar, I think, in America, and there's some other person in Japan who plays this character. And even though it's like just complete bottom tier, like fundamentally missing like
parts of the
really
game,
important, really important system mechanics. He makes it work and makes this character look terrifying and like uses all of its weird weaknesses as strengths. Cool. And I thought that was the most beautiful thing I had ever heard at that point. So that's why I wrote a story about it.
That's awesome.
A story that's kind of okay.
Look at you writing a Wreck-It Ralph about
yeah, it was literally a Wreck-It Ralph about pre Wreck-It Ralph. So they Disney, Pixar, or whoever owes me royalties.
That's right.
Oh my god.
All right, We're rolling that blunt. We're shaking that shit up. You put in the grinder.
That probably won't keep going, right? God, that's terrifying.
Oh.
Um,
I think that's a guard break. I'm out. Hey, oh.
I love that. I love that Cobra move a lot.
Oh, come on.
I love the sound effect. I love that sound effect a lot.
Yeah. Funnily enough, Anakaris is actually, in theory, one of the strongest characters in Marvel 2. If you can set up the shit just right. He's got some like, they call them 300% combos, because basically you can do a combo into a guard break setup on incoming, which if you do it perfectly lets you run through the whole team, right? But it's so incredibly hard to set up that we basically never saw this outside of theory.
Oh my god, I didn't realize that there was kind of like a what's a good way to put this? Like a task only strat for a fighting game.
Oh yeah. No, you definitely have like theoretical top tiers where you almost never see them. Like, actually, I don't know how much you watch or how much attention you pay to competitive Marvel 3, but
yeah, a little bit, a tiny bit.
The last Marvel 3 winner at Evo for the last Marvel 3 last Evo that had Marvel 3 was Ryan LV, and he did it with a team of like it's like Chun-Li, Morgan, and I want to say Phoenix.
Oh, that's interesting. I don't remember seeing Chun-Li.
Yeah, so Chun is the outlier in that team, right?
Right.
And basically, the way it works is Chun is capable of some really unorthodox air movement, and she can move around in the air. She can stay up there a long time because she can do her, I think it's not Hazanshu, whatever the up kicks she has. And because of that, she can run away, but she can also chase down pretty effectively. And the runaway is handy because you can call Morrigan's assist, which gives you meter. And because Chun-Li is just flying around like at the top of the screen, it's pretty hard to catch her. It feels like some Marvel 2 Storm shit. And I remember people talking about that stuff like years before we saw Ryan LV play the team. And then when Ryan LV played the team in the Evo beforehand and made top 8, I remember thinking, oh, like next year they're fucked, right? If he keeps it up at this pace, like he's gonna get it. And he did. And I felt really smart.
Oh, that's really cool. Dang, I like that. That's very like, one thing that's very interesting to me about Marvel 3 and Marvel 2 is that it's very like, it's the most Magic the Gathering.
Yeah.
Other than maybe like Guilty Gear.
Oh yeah, no, because composition is definitely a thing. There's a layer of strategy in team games, especially in Marvel, that isn't in most fighting games because they don't give you enough explicit decisions like that to make.
Right. There are like, I mean, like a lot of Guilty Gear characters are interesting because they have like alternate win conditions.
Right.
Which is like a thing that you do see in like CCGs and stuff like that, where it's like, you know, I'm not necessarily trying to, like Milia. Milia is the perfect example.
Yeah, or Jacko is probably the most explicit, right?
Jacko. Yeah, Jacko's got like kind of like a maybe more gimmicky one, but even like a thing like, oh, this character uses Okizeme to like create those situations.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, but it really kind of like comes into play like with a team game, because like team games are like interesting because you can have like a character that's like, oh, it's not actually good. I'm not trying to actually win with this character fundamentally.
Yeah.
Like I'm using this character in order to enable a more degenerate strategy.
Exactly.
For my other characters that are my like actual win condition.
Yeah. So like the reason that Chun, Morrigan, Phoenix worked so well was because you had Chun to run away, you had Morrigan to build meter, and then you had Phoenix coming in with level 5, right?
Right. Yeah. That like I remember like Phoenix being like the win condition.
Yeah.
So it's like really interesting to kind of like think about like, well, how do I like create this strategy? Dang, I want to watch that Evo now.
Yeah.
That sounds really interesting.
It was good. Shouts to Marvel. Beautiful game. Ooh. Oh, oh no. Ooh.
Oh.
Anacaris is pretty cool.
Yeah, he's a very like.
That's a big ass face too, dude. Man, just right up in there.
I like how a lot of them have kind of come at you with different perspectives.
Mm-hmm.
Victor is one of my favorite characters in this because of the like.
Oh my.
How the sheer difference between how this character like looks and how he's animated. He's animated like so fucking goofy. He like one of the goofiest animated characters in a game that has some goofy ass animations.
Yeah.
But like his intro is like so like here's the dead girl's ghost that gives me electricity. And then
oh my god. Yeah, it's
and then here's my move where I pick my nose. My butt is flying.
Yeah,
my butt is
we got some cake on this boy.
Yeah, this guy's got real big cake.
Ow. Oh. Oh, I forgot he's got the coffin stompy things.
Oh yeah. God, the one
Oh,
where
I'm floating. Oh no. Oh shit.
Oh.
Yeah, every
like flag that's in his nose.
every character in this game feels like they have some pretty distinct like button feels, right? Like the number of inputs you're doing per second or per, you know, arbitrary time window, and the kinds of inputs you're doing and what outcome that creates on screen. Like, you know, the medium that they're working in is the same as any other 2D fighter, right? You got 2D animations, you got sound, right? You got a very limited pixel budget, but the way these characters just feel to play is so different. It's really amazing.
Yeah, it's actually pretty incredible. And like this is like the big heavy character, but he feels so fast too.
Yeah.
Like, and those buttons really reach.
It's funny that, like, whoever worked on Anacaris is probably like, all right, so Dalsim's weird, but like, how do we make a Dalsim weird enough for this game?
Yeah, for real.
The way that he'll jump and he'll do the jump kick where his legs come out of the ground gets me every time.
Yeah, it's so cool. Like, now I know that like I remember reading from some oral history or something like that that the same person who basically programmed and kind of like did all the game design for Street Fighter 2 is the same person who did it for this game as well.
Oh, interesting.
It was like balanced by like
oh
one
my
person.
god! You've got to be
Alright.
fucking kidding me. Oh, that's right. The robot's coming for you. The two-piece.
Yeah, what the fuck? Wait, how do you do a Dark Force?
I just pressed, I think, like all the or like 4 buttons at once.
Oh,
Okay.
I can't even tell what's different.
Oh, it's just light punch, light kick. All right.
Oh wow, you've got hyper armor in that state too.
Sick.
I guess only one can Dark Force at a time.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh. Oh no. All right. I'll take
No!
it. Hey.
Oh, he's so sad. Punch and kick of the same strength.
All right, so I got a question for chat real quick, because every time we do one of these sessions, we always get a bunch of people who love the game coming out and watching us and be like, oh man, I'm so glad you're playing this game. It's so good. What do you like about VSav? Other than the sick-ass stage. This is one of my favorite stages. This and the, like, whatever the
so
like,
good.
big-ass demon fetus shit.
Oh,
This-
the
that
fetus
shit
of
is the
God
best.
is like... I remember forever ago there was like, oh my god, Felicia's movement is so crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, Felicia's so cute. I mean, like, Felicia is like just a really iconic girl.
Yep.
Oh my god.
Oof.
Oh my god.
Damn, I cannot tech roll as this character, huh?
Woo. Yeah, that might be one of the many system mechanics that he's missing.
But it's okay. We got... Ah.
Oh my god, that mouse is animated so well.
Yeah. Because I will say, like, one of the things one of the reasons I've never gotten into this game is because I know it's not a combo game, and I fucking love combos. So it makes sense to me that y'all that folks out there would be like, oh, it's got the anime, it's plenty anime, but doesn't have quite as much of the combo length in there.
Yeah, damn. See, that is like one of the reasons I was like super like excited about this game.
Yeah.
Although it's got like, I mean, if you want technical execution, there's a lot of characters.
No,
that are,
there's absolutely a lot of technical execution, but like part of what I love about fighting games is being able to earn the right to play the game the way I want to play it for a while, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm like I've said before, I'm like learning to love combos.
Yep.
But I also kind of like I see them maybe a little bit too much as the means to the end to like love them in the way that I feel like, and yet they're really entertaining. They can be good. Sometimes they're like, I have yet to like have a character where I'm like actually like their combos are so interesting I really want to learn them. Though I feel like sometimes it's really hard for me to like to make these like assessments because sometimes the movement stuff is so too much in some of these games that I'm like there's no way that I'm gonna do like oh my god. Which might be me like counting myself out.
I mean, it took me probably a good 10 years of playing fighting games before I got really into combos.
Yeah.
And it was learning zero lightning loops. That was the point at which I was like, oh, I guess I can do
Now
this.
you're like, this is like pretty interesting.
Yeah. Before then, it just felt like something I had to do.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess I kind of like, you know, like, I kind of like Kai because he's simple, but it also is fun to, like, link his shit into each other.
Right.
Sometimes I'm like, damn, I actually like doing, like, I had fun doing, like, Baiken and even, some Milia combo trials.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, actually, this is really interesting. And, like, Milia is, like, a conceptually very cool character to me still. a character that I was like, man, maybe I was like, do I love this character enough that I would want to try and like really like learn her seriously? And I was like, I guess not. Just because it felt like I was like, this is so interesting and fun to do in a vacuum.
Yeah.
But when I think about how much I have to do just to kind of like get started with her,
yeah,
I'm like, I literally, I don't know if I actually have the time that I could devote to this game to make that happen.
To Millia, no, absolutely. Irene said once, she's like, Millia has simps, huh? Like Millia players are just her simps, and it's absolutely accurate, right? If you love Millia, you are devoting yourself to a woman who will never love you back, and that's what you're here for.
Yeah, for real. And you really have to like, you have to work.
Yeah.
For that shit, for sure. I mean, that's the fantasy.
Oh, the booty coming out there.
Okay, Felicia is fucking fun as hell. I should have picked up Felicia when I started this game. Oh wait. You're gonna kill me, so I do want to show off this one.
All right.
Fine. Oh. Okay. So good.
No. That's so cute.
So
I can't do anything. I just want to look at this. This is.
I love that
girl
only
sitting on my head?
she
Yeah.
has this property.
Yeah. Cute. Oh my gosh. So. Alright, get over here, kitty. Let me pet you.
Ah!
A lot of charge characters in this game.
Yeah.
And yeah, Graffiti. I saw Bears streaming. I was in his stream earlier. It's nice to see him back. Kihon Teki ni tsuyoi. Victor very straightforward. Basically, I'm strong.
Basically.
Oh, I like this Felicia color too.
Yeah, she's got some really good ones. Oh my god.
Woo. There we go. The empty jump low from half screen. Let's go. Yeah, I like this game because they don't go into like super jump height, right? Like there's no real camera scrolling or anything like that.
Yeah.
But they use the entire screen with with the air movement, with all the big ass buttons. Like you never really feel like the screen feels small, and I really like that. I wonder how much French Bread looked at this game when working on Uni.
Oh my god, yeah, right? Because it's like, oh my god, okay.
Because Melty is very much like, it's obviously like Guilty Gear inspired, right?
Ah, my spike switching is not good.
Oh my god. Yeah, Carmine obviously Jeddah inspired.
What?
Jeddah finds himself
Oh yeah, Carmine.
everywhere,
Carmine's another Jeddah.
Yeah. Actually, when I first started playing Uni, I was playing Carmine. Back in Uni L. Oh. Irene's in VTuber hell. You fuck with VTubers at all?
I've actually so I had a friend that was really like introducing me to VTubers.
Yep.
There's so many now.
Yep.
This friend is kind of like a person who likes to like things that are are kind of like, I can't like anything that's too cool.
Right.
But I actually kind of appreciate it because it's actually kind of like a little, the VTubers that aren't super popular are actually like way less, or way more chill, I think in some ways. So I was actually following Niji Sanji for a while. They're like the less, the kind of like weirder, a little more obscure.
They're not the Hololive crew, right?
Yeah, they're not Hololive.
Yeah.
They're still like pretty
big
in there, but like Hololive's like taking off pretty big.
Yeah.
Pretty big.
This generation
Nice. Yeah, there's like, God, there's so many generations. Anyways, so like, I liked there's this girl with a super deep voice, Angie Catalina, who I really liked for a while. I like actually can't keep up with this shit though.
Yeah. No, the speed that it's moving at is crazy to me.
Right. It's just actually like a little too fast. And like VTubers were kind of like my nightly. Oh my god, this little flower is really cute. It's the thing. I'm having so much fun playing Felicia. I'm really lucky.
Well, you're a Felicia main now. Good job.
I'm like actually like, I can't believe I didn't. I think when I picked up this game, I was like, oh, it would be too basic of me to pick Felicia, even though I really like her.
Whatever, we're old now. No, we don't have to worry about being cool. Aevee, pick whoever you want.
Yeah. Oh my god, it's so liberating. I have a job. I have to go to work.
Right?
I'm not like these Zoomers.
That's right. When you come home, you're gonna press some buttons to the fucking cat girl basic waifu that you want. You don't have to worry about that shit anymore.
Anyways, she's great. Yeah, I mean, let's talk VTubers because I like to see. I also liked Lulu Suzahara a lot. I think she was maybe one of the most popular Nichi Sanjis because she's like, she has this really tiny, super cute voice. She kind of acts a little bit like she's a space alien. And she only plays like super hard like Dark Souls games.
Oh shit.
And she like really brute forces them too. Like she kind of plays like I don't even know how to describe it. She like just bashes her head against it until something works. Yeah. It's kind of like
brute force.
I would say that she's like somewhat jam-like, but she's very methodical. She's like, it's even more scary in certain ways.
That's amazing.
There's a fan comic of her I think that was pretty good. That was like showed like one panel of like a monkey like solving this problem where like a banana is tied to the ceiling, and stacking a bunch of boxes on it, and then like hitting it with a stick. And then it shows Lulu throwing boxes at the banana until it falls down. And I think that's a really good way to describe her approach. Oh my God.
I respect that. Oh. Hey.
Oh no, this is gonna kill.
The mashable throws coming through.
I should have mashed. Alright, I'm close. I'm getting there. She played Chef King for like 30 hours the first. Oh my god. So there's some really good clips of her playing like rhythm games, like Rhythm Heaven.
Yeah.
And she has like no sense of rhythm at all. It's pretty great. It's like, so she's like, I've been practicing. She's like in her like super tiny voice. Like her lips like rarely move because the VTuber rig can't pick up how quiet her voice is a lot of the time. So there's a really good one where she's just like playing it and then she fucks up and then she just looks straight at the camera with her mouth open and her eyes wide as she's continuing to fail this game. She really like, I think that like, to me that was like the essence of like, oh, I understand why y'all like VTubers.
Right.
It's because people like in the last like maybe decade or so, people actually figured out that girls are better when they suck.
Yep.
And that like it's no longer about like nobody could possibly care about like perfect like perfect idealistic like trad wife girls. It's all about girls who
You fucking 4chaner, oh my god.
Yeah, I know. It's like stuff like that is really funny to bring back because it's like so the opposite of like VTubers. Every VTuber is like successful because they're really weird and neurotic.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Like they're very expressive and like they're also like fulfilling. They're like totally like fulfilling a fantasy, and they're absolutely kind of like catering to a crowd. But they're doing so in a really interesting way, and they're also like clearly having fun.
Yeah.
And they're getting to play around in ways that like are refreshing. That like that it's not like she's necessarily like it's a performance for the viewer.
Yeah.
But it's a different kind. Like it's
yeah,
a very different kind of. So.
First off, shout-outs to Worst Girls Games for being a pioneer in the genre of terrible women.
That was the thing, is that we were really trying to make that happen because there's like, I don't know, I think like one thing that has often annoyed both me and Mia and maybe like a lot of other folks as well is like women who like are trying to make like art in this day and age are sometimes we have to like deal with people who really actually don't want us to show women sucking.
Yeah.
Like a different kind of like perfect women. And that's really boring, and it's not very realistic and not very like representative of what your life feels like. So I think it's like I wouldn't call like VTubers feminist icons, but I think that they're like a lot of people like them because they're allowed to be shitty.
Yep.
In ways that like, oh my god. Okay, this shit is bonkers. That move that I'm able to cancel in that lets me continue pressure.
Yep. Wow. And then he just picks his nose afterwards. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely did see like a dash cancel or something in there where I was like, oh, that pressure string lasted a little bit longer. We're getting a little spicy. Also, what up, Manabe? Good to see you.
Yeah, I'm trying to see what I can do to.
The influx of VTubers has been fascinating to me for one major reason, and that's like, I think it was about a year, 2 years ago, where I was talking to Irene about how disappointed I was that like as much Twitch as I like to watch, I couldn't find women like anywhere near my own age streaming. Right? I'm fucking 35.
Right. Yeah.
Right? Like if you're 35 and you're into video games in general, that's still kind of a weird thing. Right?
Yeah.
Especially so for women, because it was just harder to find other women to play video games with, right? And so it ended up being kind of the weird thing. And because of that, you know, in Twitch having the, you know, the kind of like the performance aspect to it just made it even harder, right?
Right.
But I just wanted like to watch a stream of someone my age like drinking a glass of wine and complaining about her day at work or something. Like that was the weird fantasy that I was hoping for. And VTubers actually, I literally watched, who was it? It was one of the one of the English speaking HoloLive VTubers. And she was just talking about the shitty job that she worked at, it was Applebee's, I think, to pay for like tickets to make it to like a concert in Japan or something. And I was like, and this was like a long time ago for her. And I was like, oh yeah, Raul, man, you know what's up. It's Mori Calliope. And I was like, No, this is exactly the kind of thing I want to watch, right? And it's not the kind of thing that's easy to find until you give people like the ability to kind of proxy an identity with, you know, with visuals and everything, right?
Right, because the thing is that like also because of sexism and misogyny, it is very hard for you to like people to like give you a serious chance as an entertainer if you are not like super young, you know,
Exactly.
as a woman.
Exactly.
So like the fact that like they can like, I mean, it's like one of those things where it's like, oh, inherent problems of misogyny are still very present.
Yeah.
So it's like, still, it's an interesting way to kind of like work around it. And
it's like certainly the root causes, right?
Right.
Not great, but it does allow you to get a different representation of people out there, right, and of women out there. And like the comparison point to me is because now I am starting to see like I don't know about 35 on the regular, but at least like women who are a little bit older than the kind of the standard that I saw on Twitch a couple years ago. And like we were just scrolling through some of the Just Chatting streams, and there's like a handful of women with like they're just sitting there, and they got a big ass whiteboard in the back that says daddies, and they got a sub goal. they got a sub goal like
yes,
progress bar.
Fucking queen.
Yeah, and I see that, I'm just like, yep, you know what you're here for. Everyone knows what you're here for, right? Like, fucking get it. That's fantastic. I appreciate the candor, right? Like, there's no bullshit about this. Like, we're here to pander, right? However that looks for your particular audience. And whether it's writing, you know, some random Twitch account's name on your body in Sharpie for the $5, you guys $2.50, right? Like, we all know why we're here, right? I appreciate that. I really liked it. But the HoloLive shit is nice because, or you know, the VTuber shit is nice because like you actually do get moments of personality, right? You are there, and you know the personality, how authentic it is or not, like to me is less of a concern.
Oh my god.
That was amazing.
I don't know how you got out of that one.
You have these moments of what feel to be like realness, right? At the very least, you know, yeah, VTubers are performing just like anyone else, but they're allowed to bear like aspects of themselves, right? That you just don't see, that I didn't see as much of until the camera was no longer an issue. Right,
yeah. No, it's amazing how people's like perception can change,
yeah.
You know? And like
oh my god. Oh, nice. That. Low attacks losing a little bit of their luster when you can just dash right over them.
Right, yeah.
Oh, nice.
Hell yeah.
That's right. Feel yourself, Aevee. Actually, you've been streaming for a while now, right?
Yeah, I have. It's interesting because both me, like, I'm in my 30s, and my streaming partner Fern is older than I am.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I mean, we are not pulling in the numbers.
And which is like liberating when you're streaming, to be honest.
Oh
like...
yeah, for real. Oh my god. Whew. Oh, holy
Cute.
shit.
Cute.
Oh. Felicia is fucking fun. This is probably the most fun I have spontaneously begun to have while playing one of these games.
So.
Where I'm like, I mean, not that I haven't been having like a ton of fun.
It's okay, I understand.
Learning this game, but this is like the first time where I'm like, oh my god, I think I'm like loving this character. Like, I think I am actually having like a super good time playing this game.
Yo, that's awesome.
I mean, like I've loved a lot of these games, but like, damn, this game like feels really different.
Yeah.
It's by far, I think, the fastest of these games that we've been playing so far.
Oh, absolutely.
Like,
And it's actually kind of funny to me that they have as many charge characters as they do, because charge characters in this game would force you to choose between the fun movement and the positioning and stuff from all the wild movement, and locking up that charge move that you want.
Like, it's kind of interesting because I was actually like, can't remember why I was thinking about this, but like, if you think about it, like, there are not too many charge characters in Guilty Gear or like anime games in general.
Yeah.
Probably precisely because of that reason, right?
Yeah, I mean, like you think about who gets the charge moves in Guilty Gear. It's like Potemkin, it's Axel, right?
Yeah.
Characters that don't really want to be moving around that much anyway.
Right, exactly. Yeah, characters that actually have this kind of like committed defensive stance.
Yeah.
Like there's not, I mean, there's Mei, but like Mei is not like the Guile.
Yeah. Mei has charge moves. I think that's probably actually a concession to her. Like, my impression is that Mei has always been thought of as kind of like one of the easier characters to try and get into.
Right, yeah.
Which is funny to me because I know plenty of people who have a hard time with charge moves. But I think that, like, at least some combat designers look at charge moves and they go, oh, well, you can kind of understand this a little bit more easily than motions.
Yeah, I kind of think that, although, like, I've never, like, new players, I think, hate charge moves with a passion. I mean,
like, truly like, new players, I think, hate all kinds of special move inputs.
Yeah, they definitely do, but I think, like, woo, my god. Oh my god. I did not know how to deal with that. Yeah, they're like, I mean, I don't know. I think like a lot of people who I know are like, charge moves feel so inconsistent when you are learning them for the first time. It feels like they only come out every every like third time you try and do it.
You
and I think like
have
people,
you have to figure out, like, you have to get a sense for the timing, right?
Right. You really have to get the sense for the timing. And I think like people might actually like, I mean, I don't know, this is kind of like my experience, but it's like consistent with like a lot of people I know who are like maybe like casual fighting game players or people who have like dabbled in fighting game players in fighting games. They're like, man, I like, oh my god, my favorite character is a charge character. I can't play her.
Yeah.
Like, because it just means that I have to do this weird thing. Especially when it comes to like, if you're in like an anime game where you have to do like a charge move in a combo or something like that.
Yeah.
I think that's a hard sell. Even though it can be like, I think ultimately like the more that I played charge characters, the more that I'm like, oh, actually, it's kind of easy. But I think it's like you actually need to be too experienced with fighting game in order to understand why it's easier.
Yeah. I was having a conversation with someone on the insert credit forums where they were posting like, oh, it was kind of the typical like the salt, right? They're like, oh, I don't play these games because I'm tired of getting the like of going into the mission mode and it doesn't tell me if I should be pressing the button earlier or later. And I'm like, I get that, because you don't know enough about the game to understand how clear the instructions are, right? And my response is basically, in most situations, they were playing Street Fighter V. In most situations, if you didn't see the thing you wanted to come out, then you press the button too early. And if you did see the thing come out that you wanted to come out, but it didn't combo or didn't hit, then you press the button too late. And that's really it, you know? But like, in order to communicate that information, I have an understanding of how scripts work. I have an understanding of how how hits and cancels work, right? The difference between links and chains, and how to see those differences by just watching the replay, right? And
right.
And even just that fundamental goal, or that fundamental gap, is something that a person can explain very easily, but a machine often has a harder time.
Right. Yeah. Totally.
Woo. Thank you, Manabe. Yeah, I have a lot of fun doing this with Aevee. This is one of the best like game design podcasts you will ever listen to, and we're doing it while we're playing a fighting game that one or both of us have not really played before.
I've never played. Or, I mean, like, the last time, like, I said I played this on Fightcade, that would have been, like, in... Oh my god. It would have probably been, like, 2012, actually, was probably the last time I played Vampire Savior. Oh my god.
Oh. Woo. Oh my god, that was deceptive. Trixie.
Ah.
Oh no. Oh, you got the help me. Oh shit.
Oh, I got little Eddie.
No, cute. Look at that little cat.
Aww. Yo, this character kicks ass. Oh my god, I left for like.
Alright, who have I not played yet?
For a little like.
I haven't played Sasquatch yet. What,
yeah,
Diego?
this character is wild. She just gets to like. She just gets to like end combos. Like she just keeps to. She gets to keep pressing buttons. Yeah, maybe like this is how jam players get to feel.
Have you ever actually tried Jam and Gear?
You know, I actually haven't. I kind of was like, I can't be another jam player.
Because Jam would fit you perfectly. Like a fucking
Really?
glove. Yeah.
I kind of like, I mean, I guess the thing is that like, I really like mid-range stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I like Kai getting to like, there's something like really fun about Kai getting to kind of like, feel like he's a little too good at every little thing. Yep. But I don't know. Maybe I'd like her better than I think I would.
I would say
Yeah,
try out Jam's combo trials one of these days.
Yeah, maybe I should. I think like when she was first announced, I was like, dang, maybe I'll try out Jam, but I said that about a lot of characters.
I feel like early on in Irene's Jam career, she found some fan art of Jam with like one of those beer helmets, and both of the cans were labeled "dumb bitch juice," and Irene was like, "Yeah, I think I found the one."
It's fun to just wild out.
Oh,
you know?
yeah.
I rarely play characters like. I mean, I do like playing characters like if this was another game, I would probably like try playing Bishamon actually.
Yeah.
Just because I love to kind of like play a little cautious, to get like to press my pokes, to play a little bit of Samurai Showdown. But I also like, it's interesting. Even though there's like characters that I tend to play as,
damn, this character.
I want to like.
Hell.
Yeah. This character Sasquatch is fucked up. Like. There's like. Oh, right.
Whoa.
How did you do the big splashy? That's what I want to do.
Oh.
Oh, wow. Oh, there it is. Okay.
Yeah, Doom, thanks for
Oh
the
my
tip. That's just real fucked up. That must be a huge pain in the ass on stick, though. Damn, maybe I'll play VSav just for the hitbox advantage.
Leaf is a good character to learn on.
It's the thing you're describing, right, where you have this idea of how you want to play,
Yeah.
and then you pick a character that fits that is really interesting to me because like I guess from where I look at it, right, as the hardened veteran of multiple fighting games, I'm like, realistically, like, most new players to any game are not making many meaningful decisions around how they play the game out of anything other than, like, one, what's your character choice? And then two, like, where do you want to be on screen, right? But, like, Kai's a good example. Or, like, actually, I think there are lots of characters who are good examples of, like, when you're new, you think you can play this character the way you want to play them, right? And
totally.
people can get really attached to that, right? And as the experienced player, I'm like, yes, you are free to play the character as suboptimally as you would like, but this character is designed to be good at certain things or good in certain places. And if you play them without playing to those advantages, like, you're really just playing yourself, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Like, and that's kind of like why I like that, like, you know, I started being like, I'll play like the kind of like, I'll play a beginner. Oh, that's good stuff. Woo. Oh my god. What is that? God, the Street Fighter way of like doing everything is still hard for me to wrap my head around. Too many buttons. But yeah, it's like, you know, it's like, oh, like Kai's like a little bit of like mid-range stuff that like there's this particular way that you can like do even like good Oki game with him. Like it's a lot of like, this is how to learn the character or learn how to learn the game. And one thing that's like super interesting about Kai is like I've noticed how many characters have Kai things. Like I keep on playing like Viken and Elfelt both remind me of Kai.
Sure.
I'm not sure if other people feel the same way, but it feels like it's like Kai with other stuff added on to him. Because they've got a lot of they've got like some similar basic stuff, and then they have like stuff taken away and stuff added.
Right.
And yeah, that's kind of like a basic character.
Yeah, that's kind of like, that is how the Shoto type works, right? Like you have like Kai and Soul, and then you have Chip, and he's kind of like a fast Shoto with more tools, right? Or you have Elfelt, and she's like, well, some of the tools that Elfelt has are reminiscent of a Shoto in terms of like button speed and spacing, but then she's got like a bunch of other wild shit to compensate for the fact that there's no DP, right?
Right. Yeah. Right,
which is very different from like Milia. Milia doesn't really feel like she has a whole lot in common with that entire crew, like right?
Definitely. Like, yeah, she feels like she plays in a pretty fundamentally different way. I guess though what I would say to that is that it's kind of like you think of yourself as like, beginners are like, I want to do this, or like this is the fantasy that I have.
Yeah.
But like, is that true? Is that real? Like, is that really what you want? Do you actually know what you really want to do in a fighting game? I just like, I'm thinking about that when I think about saying like, oh, I want to play like a Kai type character because I like big buttons.
Yeah. Like some of that might be you have this, like you have an opinion of what you think is cool in fighting. You're like, oh, I want to do that, right? But like, you know, people never think that the things they are or the things they do are cool, right? At least not at first.
Yeah.
Cool is something that other people have or other things and you want it.
Yeah. Right. A lot of times you're trying to like, you're often, especially in fighting games where you get to literally be another character, you're like, I want what that person has.
Exactly.
Like, I want to think of myself as that kind of person.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I'd say that maybe.
So here's a question for you. Outside of Guilty Gear, outside of fighting games, right? Like, there is no question in my mind that you're cool as fuck, right? Sometimes intimidatingly so. Like, I know I have spoken to plenty of people. Irene has said that you are intimidatingly cool. When you deign to stop by the Guilty Gear, you know, like NBA Jam nights and stuff, there's this undercurrent of like, oh, you know, Aevee's coming. That's so cool, right? And I'm willing to bet one that people have told you this, and also that you probably don't believe them or never believe them, and will kind of gracefully and politely accept their adoration or whatever, right?
That's what I do.
But the fact remains that you are cool as hell. But I'm guessing you don't think you're cool as hell, because who can, right?
Right,
Anyone who thinks that they are themselves cool usually ends up sucking.
Right, yeah, those are like not the person you want to hang out with at all.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my god. This is like, God, the fact that, oh my god.
Woo.
Okay. Ooh.
Actually, cool. Johnny thinks that he is cool, and is definitely not cool for that exact reason.
Yeah. He's kind of like, the thing is that he kind of can wrap around because he's so dorky.
It's true.
Oh my god, at least I got one life bar.
He could potentially pull that off, right? Like, but it requires a long journey with Johnny. I'll just say that. And really, the problem with Johnny is probably that at one point he saw a shirtless man with a trench coat and sunglasses, and was like, "Yeah, this is the pinnacle of cool." He saw this at a young age, and just devoted his life to imitating that forever, right?
Yeah, did you see? Okay, I can't help but be reminded of, like, there's this thing going around where there's some 4chan posts people were circulating where there's this guy who is like,
oh, the guy who lived like Driver.
Yeah, he lives like that. And then there was this girl who was like just on Drive. Turns out
my ex-boyfriend made that his whole personality. Yeah.
Yeah. Hilarious, even if not true, because it's the internet. However, I can't help but think of Johnny in that context now. Like,
please post that meme later today.
Yeah,
I'll retweet the shit out of it.
Who your character as this? It's fucking Johnny for sure.
Who is the Yeah, or I mean, your character as an R relationships post is amazing. Your character as 4chan green text.
Oh my god. Just having that with Milia, and Milia is the girlfriend too.
Yeah.
I guess that would be fun. But anyways, he is kind of a fedora. I'm gonna keep on going with Felicia. I'm gonna believe in her. God, that pressure string can last forever. See, it's like, I'm kind of actually like, I didn't realize how easy it would be to do, maybe because I've played fighting games enough at this point, but I see Felicians do this all the time because they use that special move as if like she had a short hop.
Yeah.
It's like, that's part, like, that's
I
another
think she
thing
kind of
that
has
I really...
some of that gameplay in Marvel 3 as well.
Yeah, it's like, oh, what if, like, we almost, like, are basing these characters... Oh my god!
Pick a top tiered.
Yeah, Jesus.
Oh no. Doom in chat is feeding me all the tight shit, and you are stuffing it instantly the moment I try to do it.
Doom, give me the tight shit. I'm not gonna be able to pay attention. Oh my god! I gotta get you while you're trying to do tight shit. Yeah, it's like, she basically has this special move that people can use as like a pseudo short hop, like King of Fighters. and Sasquatch just has that as part of his movement options.
No!
Oh, hell yeah! Oh my god.
Felicia's tight shit is JHP, got it.
Anji is very self-confident.
Alright.
I don't know if Anji's an...
I think this is a good time to take the last match of the night. Do you want to stay on Felicia?
Let's do it. Oh yeah, for sure.
Alright.
I believe it.
I'm gonna switch back to my original pick. We're gonna go with Gallon on this
Yeah,
one.
let's do it.
Oh. We got cats versus dogs up in here.
Yeah.
Oh no. Oh. Oh, nice throw. Wait, that's me.
Oh my god.
Was that?
I was like, I actually
Yeah.
couldn't even tell you. Holy
We
shit,
both
how do you-
we both have the same like rolling air throw. It's funny.
God, I love the laugh so much.
Oh, that's right. We get the nunchucks out. Yeah. He's like a kung fu werewolf.
That's awesome.
Oh. Oh, the mix. Wow, the 664 like short hop cancels or whatever. That definitely changes the game.
Ah,
All right.
shit.
Oh, we got both the dark forces out. Oh shit. Oh, you fucking piece of shit. Get out of here. Hey.
Ah, damn it. All right.
Goddamn. All right. GG's, Aevee.
GG's.
So that was a hell of a game. Like this, I can.
Oh, shit.
This is probably the longest that I've sat down and played VSav with anybody in like years. Probably since I was like at my homie's house in high school, just playing random burn Dreamcast games, right? Like I have not gone in on this game in a long time, and just sitting down and playing it for like, you know, basically an hour and a half with you, I can see why everyone who feels strongly about this game, like why they love it and why nothing else has really hit this for anyone, right? Like,
Yeah.
some of it is the core
this game is
gameplay.
incredible.
Yeah, what?
Oh, this game is so good.
Yeah.
I was just like, just having an overwhelming amount of fun with it.
Yeah, and it's like, it's not a mystery, right? It's the character designs are amazing. The animation is incredibly expressive, right? So it gets really easy to feel this like joy while you're pressing these buttons. The game doesn't get in the way of you at all. It says you can kind of cancel stuff into stuff in general. Yeah, there's some like you have to learn the chain system versus links, and you know, if you want to cancel into specials or stuff like that. But like at a very basic level, there aren't that many dead buttons. You can kind of get an idea of what works, right? You can kind of experiment on the fly. The mobility is super flexible, right? Like it's all just this amazing package that I think is kind of misunderstood a little bit by like this game might be the best fighting game we've ever played together on stream, right? It's
a really good, like, it's just so fast. It lets you kind of like do whatever.
mm-hmm.
And I think that it's like it's kind of like, I mean, at a high level, I'm sure tech is really like weird, but like I was just like, I think I was doing some stuff that I've seen high level Felicia players do.
Yeah.
And it was really fast and
mm-hmm.
really fun. Like it's kind of like a little too bad that it feels like from I feel like I don't know if this is a thesis statement yet, but like from the games that we've played, it's kind of interesting that like modern fighting games feel so polarized between regular Street Fighter and like Guilty Gear.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if we have so many of these like weird like kind of middle experiments that are like super fast and super like this kind of like hybrid game because I love it.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
pretty.
honestly, the closest that in terms of, again, in terms of core gameplay, the closest analog I can think of is probably like KOF, right?
Yeah, it's basically that.
But
You know,
KOF doesn't
which
like
I
the
loved.
it's like KOF if KOF didn't have long ass kind of hand cramping combos, right?
Right.
Because but a lot of the turn length, a lot of the neutral and the fluidity of the movement, like, I mean, Uni starts to get there a little bit, but because of the desire to have long anime style combos, right, with several just like, you know, LMH into special into LMH into launcher into LMH, blah 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 blah, right? Like, and then on top of that, the long like offensive and defensive strings, like the turn length is just longer, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, there's something just very, very kinetically satisfying about the interactivity and like super quick turns, the ability to steal turns, but also like plenty of interactive defensive systems. Um, there's just it's there everything feels like it's really tightly like uh kind of woven together in a way that
Yeah.
feels pretty good, I think.
Yeah. I'm like, yeah, I'm just very like it had been so long since I'd played it and having these other games as like points of reference. Um being able to feel not just like the speed but the fluidity, like when it lets you stop, when it lets you keep going.
Yeah.
The fact that like with playing Felicia, I was like, oh my god, my like I get like these pressure strings that like keep on going,
Mm-hmm.
and it feels like they must last for like a second at the max.
Yeah.
And yet they feel like they're going on forever. And then I get like hit by this brick wall that's like either your like call out or like a reversal throw
Mm-hmm.
or something like that. Like things like stop and start like really suddenly, but it feels like you're moving the whole time.
Yeah.
You don't kind of like feel like it's like, oh, everything's like reset. Now we're like getting back up again to like do it all over again.
Mm-hmm.
It's more like even when you're like when we're throwing each other, you just get right back up so quickly and
Yeah.
you're right back into the action.
Yeah, I mean, it really does feel like a scrap, right? And of course, like, if we were better at the game, we'd have more combos. Turns would probably be a little bit longer because we'd have a better understanding of where the inflection points are on offense and defense, right? But like the momentum of the game and just the pace of the game is definitely like it's a lot faster than I normally see in anime games. Um, I guess the thing, if I were to look at this game and think, well, why didn't more games follow in this game's footsteps? Some of it might be that like the long combos and the kind of the potential for like cinematic moments and supers or whatever. That is something which like it starts to like the pace of VSav just from when we were playing it feels so integral to the experience, right? But it didn't feel like there like it felt like you had to keep up that pace for the game to feel satisfying, right? Like if every round or if every stock we were taking a 6-second break to watch these two like do like, oh shit, you hit the ultra or whatever, right? I don't think it would feel as good, right? I think it would significantly take away from the experience.
Yeah, no, it's very interesting how it's like you're totally right that a lot of like games totally went in that direction. Um, in some ways, I can see it even like giving players a break because that game
Yep.
is really intense. Um, but like it wouldn't feel like Vampire Savior. Like I feel like that's a game where like the speed would be hindered
Right.
by long combos, definitely. And like people were pointing out in the chat, we probably if we were really playing this game, we'd be push blocking a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
But or even guard canceling. And yet at the same time, like that just like I think the shift in momentum would be like almost equally as fast.
Yeah. Yeah. And like it's not like we were letting each other get away with super long turns anyway because we were mashing, right? And I think most of these chains end up like minus on block anyway, so your turn probably isn't lasting that much longer. Yeah, I guess so. I had a Twitter thread going a couple days ago where it was in response to some conversations that I'd had about Guilty Gear Strive. Um, and I said basically like fighting games are kind of consist of two different things, right? One is fighting games are a place for you to kind of just grab your favorite like action figures from your Saturday morning cartoons or comics or whatever and just bash them into each other, right? And oh, I get to have, Leonardo from the Ninja Turtles fight Superman. And here's how it's going to go. And and the other half is this is a martial art that we're playing, right? We have attacks, we have moves on offense and defense and neutral, and we are developing our brains to be able to perform these inputs better. And it's a contest of skill and of mind reading and of all this kind of shit, right? And different fighting games will offer different high points on either side, right? So like
Yeah.
this is why arena fighters like the Naruto games, most of them, or like Kill la Kill, whatever, like the 3D arena fighters are great for the former, right? You've got your jump action characters and they're all just beating the shit out of each other, and you have all these fun moments of fan service and homage. But in order to make that really good, the aspect of the game that's about two people outwitting each other and outplaying each other is compromised rather significantly, right? It doesn't, because things don't happen at the right speed. If you want to make something look like anime, from your favorite TV, One Punch Man or whatever, you're not going to have the pace that you want, right? And I feel like I can kind of see that split here, where like I think the aspect of this game where it's like brain candy and we're feeding constant inputs and outputs is amazing, right? And
Yeah.
they also get a lot of character mileage by operating within those constraints. Everything is fast, but they go so hard on the animation, right? They take those 4 frames or those 8 frames and they animate the hell out of it, and it looks amazing, right? But I do think I would imagine that like if you tried to get away with a game like this these days and you licensed a popular IP to it, that you get a bunch of fighting game crackheads who love this shit, but you probably would disappoint the people who actually like the IP.
Yeah. Really? I mean, I don't know. I feel like this game
Well,
had so much like immediate appeal.
yeah. I guess
Like,
it depends on the IP, right? Ninja Turtles, I could see Ninja Turtles translating great into like a VSav clone or something like that.
yeah, I mean, like, I guess it would depend on the game, but like, you know, at the at the basic level, I'm not sure if people would notice the difference whether or not it was like a really slow game or a really
Yeah.
fast game.
Mm-hmm.
If they were like super into like, if they're just into like watching the IP smash.
Yeah.
They might not like. I mean, again, people though like want those big long animations when they like see a big special fighting game move these days.
Yeah.
And so and I feel like trying to do a game without any of that, that's maybe a harder sell.
Well,
I don't know if the pace would be a turnoff though.
yeah. Well, and so the pace is interesting because like I could see an optimistic case for Guilty Gear Strive, and I say this as someone who has not been optimistic about Guilty Gear Strive,
Yeah.
right? The optimistic case for Guilty Gear Strive is they shortened all the long things in Exerd. They cut off a lot of the characters' legs. But if the pace is fast enough, if the back and forth is fast enough, it won't feel like a Guilty Gear game, but it might feel closer to this than not, right?
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's like that's the thing that I'm like, I'm really on the edge.
Yeah.
I'm not experiencing Pat, I've seen your like grief.
Mm-hmm.
And and I know it feels like real bad. I'm like optimistic that it could be like a game. If it comes out to be a game like this, I'd be pretty happy.
Yeah.
Because then I'd have that and I'd have Exerd.
Yeah.
And I could grow on Exerd. I'd be like, by the time that I'm bored of Strive, I feel like I could just be getting going with Exerd, you know?
Yeah, that is actually, I guess, one, yeah, my grief is real, and it comes in part from it, like,
yeah.
The best analogy that I could think of is like I love 80s and 90s Japanese cars, right? Like, you give me a
Yeah.
Honda CRX, you give me a Toyota MR2, right? The fucking RX-7, like all that shit. I'm like,
Mhm.
yes, give me more of this. I want the jank. I want to be able to feel like every single thing that this car is doing, right?
Mhm.
And what I'm getting is like, if this is, depending on how Strive lands, it could be somewhere between like a Prius or maybe optimistically the new Honda Civic Type R, right? Where it's, and I'm like, I don't know
Yeah.
where they're shooting with this, but if they're trying to convince a bunch of diehard Rice Rocket fans to get excited about a Toyota Prius, we are all going to be grieving about that.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so I'm hoping that at the very least this feels more like the Type R. We'll see how it goes. I was not optimistic after seeing the Zato stuff or the Milia stuff.
Yeah.
Really. Milia maybe a little bit, but playing this game with you has actually given me higher hopes for Strive than I've had previously.
You know, I was actually gonna say the same thing. That I was like, I almost tweeted this myself, but I was like, I don't know if the crowd will receive it very well. But I was like, you know, like these games are actually making me kind of like hype for Strive, just because it feels like it almost feels retro, like
Mm-hmm.
that like that game is, um, and maybe like I think that like I hope that it's not trying to be this kind of like traditional footsies that never was.
Yeah.
That kind of like fantasy that a lot of people talk about. I hope it's more like this. Um, a really weird kind of like complicated air mobility heavy footsies that maybe doesn't have quite the sort of like combo and like set play that a game like Guilty Gear Xrd or Accent Core
Yeah.
Or Plus Art has. Um, um, yeah, I was like, oh, that's an interesting take, Vicky Piper.
I mean, so this is exactly it, right? Like, one of the issues that we run into with Strive is everyone has a different perspective on Guilty Gear, because Guilty Gear has so many different things in it that people love, right? I don't know if you've had this experience, but like when I listen to the Guilty Gear soundtrack, I'm like, oh, this is a bop, right? Like I like this shit. But I get other people who are like, I love metal. Metal is my favorite thing about Guilty Gear. I have never cared about metal at all, in Guilty Gear or not, right? That is not what I come here for. I come to Guilty Gear for the big brain shit.
Right.
Plenty of people do not come to Guilty Gear for the big brain shit. We call them Leo players, right? And so if you play Kai, Soul, Leo, like that kind of shit, and you look at Strive, you're like, oh yeah, this is the game I've always been playing, but maybe with a little bit of the pesky shit in there, right? When I talked to Peppery Splash, he's a Venom player. We're not seeing Venom in there, right? And so he's like, oh, maybe Chip, right? And then we look at Chip, we're like, no. Maybe Zato, maybe, you know, like the best of a bunch so far, right? But I understand why Chip and Venom and Zato and probably Answer players, why we would all be disappointed, because we're all kind of kindred spirits, right? We're here for the big brain shit.
Yeah.
If you play Soul, or actually maybe the better way to describe this is as a Ryu player, right? I played Ryu in Street Fighter 4, and I mostly played Ryu in Street Fighter 4 because I didn't like Street Fighter 4, but I like Ryu, right? I was like, well, at the very least I can get better at the fundamentals. And then I played Street Fighter 5, and outside of early, like around launch, Ryu has been dog shit for almost the entirety of that game, right? And that more than anything else is what killed Street Fighter 5 for me, right? The fact that I couldn't play Ryu doing Ryu things and have a reasonable expectation of like doing okay in a matchup because everyone is anti-fireball tools fucking killed me, right? But if
you don't get to do your basic thing.
Exactly, right? So like when we're looking at Strive, everyone looks at it from different perspective. Everyone's seeing different things. Because whatever Guilty Gear gave them before, right? Because it gave out so many things, right? Whatever Guilty Gear gave them before, right? If Strive isn't giving it to you, then you're like, fuck this shit. And if Strive is, then you're like, what? This is the same Guilty Gear I've always been playing, right?
Right.
So I think, I mean, I think Strive is going to represent essentially a culling of the taste profiles, right?
Yeah.
Like I look at Kai in Guilty Gear and I'm like, when I see Kai players in Guilty Gear, I'm like, why are you playing this game? Why go to a high end ice cream shop and why go to Baskin Robbins and pick vanilla, right? When you could, like, even if you wanted vanilla in that moment, why do it? Why do it over and over and over, right? But other people are like, no, this is why I play the game, and apparently those people are closer to what the intended player base for Strive is.
Yeah.
Anyway, I've ranted long
I would
enough
say,
about this. Yeah, go ahead.
oh, just to defend Kai players for half a second.
They don't need it.
I think one thing that I've actually gotten at, and this is just to say like why I'm even enjoying playing Kai and Xrd,
Yeah.
which I didn't think I would do. You know, I
Mhm.
went to Kai from I was playing strawberry cheesecake with Elfelt.
Yeah.
And then I went to Kai. But I actually am playing it a little bit like I am 2H in the haters, thank you, Omega Kyle. Cause it's like when you play Kai, you're playing boss fights. You're like
Mhm.
playing the main character of a character action game.
Yeah.
You're playing Dark Souls and everyone else is like a Toho boss.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually kind of like what I've started to like. That's the thing that's been keeping me back into it. Is like, oh, I've got like these tools. Like, how do I like figure out what this person is gonna do to me? But I agree. It's like definitely different, and it's definitely the reason why I'm like looking at the new characters. And I'm like, oh, cool. Maybe I'll try out Ramlethal. She looks pretty interesting. And like Ramlethal players are like, I'm fucking so pissed off.
Yeah.
They took everything cool about her out of that game. It's like,
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I could definitely see it considering what like Ramlethal was like before.
Yeah.
It's a really different thing.
And that's the thing, right? Like I've maintained for a long time that the strength of a fighting game lies in its ability to generate to offer characters that fit very narrow taste profiles, right? I think that if you want to make a winning fighting game, you don't do it by offering a roster of characters that have all the hard edges sanded off, right? You don't want a character select screen where any person looks at the game and goes, "Oh, I could see myself playing like half the cast." Right? Because it means that you're not going to have their favorite character, right? I play Guilty Gear for Chip and for Zato, right? And those characters, as they exist in Xrd and in Plus R, you cannot find a character like them in any other game. So if I want to play these characters, I'm playing them in that game. If I took anyone through a Guilty Gear character select screen and they're like, "Oh, I could play just about like they all seem like I could pick like 10 or 15 characters that stood out to me or that I want." That means that you don't have that sharp appeal so much, right? And if you don't have that sharp appeal, then those players are going to stick around until they see another game that kind of has the same shit, right? Or that kind of has another thing that people really like, and hey, maybe now we're going to go play this game because that's where the hype is or whatever, right? If you have characters that are incredibly polarizing, then that's how you get characters to keep, or that's how you get players to stick, right? And Ram is a great example because no one ever saw Ram and thought, "Oh, this is how this character works." Right, in Xrd, the sword set mechanic is super weird. Her character design is incredibly popular aesthetically, right? Super popular with the fan artists. Almost like I feel like almost every artist I know doesn't know Guilty Gear that well, but they know Ram, right? But because her gameplay was so weird, if you were in the rare like cross section, right? The rare Venn diagram overlap of people who like the way she looks and people who like the way she plays, then that is your shit, and you're never gonna find anything like her again, right? That's how, and then that's how it feels when you see Strive, and it's like, who is this basic ass whatever wearing my favorite character's skin?
Yeah, no, I totally like, and I totally get that. Like, I'll say that, well, I don't know. I think that you're right. Like that there's like a certain special thing about like making a character that only like a certain amount of people can play.
Mm-hmm.
Though I think that's a really like I think that's the thing that gets like fighting game players to definitely like last with a game.
Yeah.
I almost think about like I was actually gonna make an analogy about like fighting games in the 2000s to like shmups.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's necessarily the most flattering analogy,
No,
but
I think that is entirely accurate.
But it's a definite like sort of thing where it's like shmups developed, and I wouldn't say necessarily it was the key to popularity because like shmups got like way more limited in their audience.
Yeah.
But it definitely was like shmups like Cave, for example. They make games like if you have experienced the high of 1cc'ing a Cave shmup, and I have.
Mm-hmm.
I have chased.
Oh, flex on him, Aevee. Let him know. Let him know.
I have 1cc'd Escalada 2. It's
Ooh,
not even like one of
boy.
the hardest. Actually it's pretty it's not that easy. But like and that was an incredible like thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand that like once you really get that, like you're like, this is the thing that I want to do. And so you make these games that will satisfy the people who like are already like super bought in. You're like real core. And it keeps the core going, you know, like and like so I can see though that like people are like, how do we get out of this niche? How do we get people who aren't just part of that core to start buying this game? And I have to be honest, like, I'm not sure if that'll even work with fighting games. They might just be too hardcore, even in a baseline.
Yeah.
And I sometimes wonder if it's like, does it even matter if you try and make this game more accessible? Like look at Smash and Melee. Like, you might as well, like, just get an IP. An IP will do more than actually, like, changing the gameplay.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of reasons why it might, like, what even that might not be the key to victory.
I think
it's kind of hard to it's just hard to know.
Yeah. And like, let's be honest, when you're in charge of a studio and you have bills to pay and you are giving people jobs, right? People rely on you to sell this game in order to fund their lives. It's really hard to look at what you've got and go, oh yeah, we should make this less accessible and more complicated for a niche audience so it'll sell less copies.
Right. That might shrink. Like you don't necessarily like even if they're loyal, you're not sure like what to do. So sometimes you might have to like. So I understand them like taking this risk.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if it'll pay off. They might make a game that is pretty cool to me. I hope it works out for them. One way or the other. I kind of hope that they're able to make that like really niche game again somehow.
Yeah, I hope. I mean, I want to say that's why Arxis publishes Uni, right? Because it is that game. Like Uni is the last fighting game I've played where it felt like the creators loved fighting games.
Mm-hmm.
Marvel Infinite had some of it too. It just wasn't evenly spread, right? But Uni, they knew very clearly what the genre is that they're operating in, right? Everything about it is essentially a 2000s fighting game. It was just made 10 years later, right?
Yeah. It's still like, I mean, God, I love Uni. I hope that they get like, I want them to get some big pile of money somehow. Just so that like they can like make Uni 2, or they can like just keep on making Uni, or they could add rollback to Uni. That would make me so happy.
Yeah.
Like, cause they're really good at what they do. And like sometimes like, you know, if you're a little bit smaller, maybe you get to like chase that niche. Because you're not trying to like, you know, you don't have as many people's salaries to worry about.
Exactly. And it's funny, like you were talking about how like the promise of simplifying a game to make it more accessible is fundamentally it's a marketing pitch, right? You're saying, hey, you think fighting games are cool. Well, we have a fighting game for you, and you might be interested in the IP, but at the very least, what we can offer you to help persuade you to spend that $60 on the pre-order or the $85 for the definitive edition pre-order or whatever is this game will be a little bit easier for you to engage with. The cost of actually getting your money's worth out of this game will be lower, right? But as you pointed out, like, the IP is actually the biggest determinant of success in a fighting game. And I don't think anything has actually proved that more than obviously Smash, but actually Dragon Ball, right?
Oh yeah.
Because
yeah.
Dragon Ball did offer players some more simplicity. They're pretty smart about how they're like, oh, you could do one button combos, you could see all the cool stuff without learning how to do it yourself, and the hard way or whatever, right? And they did a bang up job adapting the IP. But really, if you look at it, that game is Marvel 3, right? Like, its guts are Marvel 3. Marvel 3 is one of the least newbie hospitable games in the world. But Marvel 3 is another great example, right? You have the IP.
It's one of the most hypest,
Not only is it hype, but it is the IP that motivates people to learn all the obtuse bullshit that fighting games make you do. The better your IP is, the higher your complexity budget.
Yeah, no, it's kind of like wild because like that a thing that often happens is like, I've played a bunch of cool Examu like fighting games, and they get the most like leftover licenses and IPs to make games out of, and those games are dead after a month. You know? Oh, and Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite sold more copies than Xrd. Oh my god, I believe it.
Yeah, I believe that entirely. Right. And I've probably purchased, like, I don't know, a recognizable number of those Xrd copies.
Right, exactly. It's like, it's kind of like, I almost see it as like, you either need like an IP or you need a studio that's kind of like kept around and supported simply because other people in the industry love and depend on it.
Yep.
That's why I not to end our really intense intellectual fighting game discussion with a pitch for communism, but
no, let's fucking go.
Would be really good is one nice thing about arts that are publicly funded is people can just develop shit and other people can learn from it in any sort of genre. It'd be nice if people were just developing that shit for the good of all of us game designers to learn better how to do shit from.
I'll end it on a slightly more optimistic note, I guess. I participated in a panel, or it was a roundtable discussion that was moderated by some Asian American studies academics who were putting together a work group about the intersection of games and race and Asian American studies, basically. And it was clear that a lot of them, I got the impression, at least the kind of, because Asian American studies is multidisciplinary, right? And I got the impression that the people who were kind of facilitating or running the session were largely coming either from like sociological or literature backgrounds, like English, and what I asked them was like, look, if you want to understand why anything about games are the way they are, look at the economics, right? I was like, look at the conditions under which we're making games, look at where the funding comes from, look at the stakes about entertainment at scale, look at who's offering government grants or other ways besides essentially like capitalist video game production. Everything starts with the economics. I'm sure they didn't need to hear like, this guy who writes about Street Fighter just hitting us with some real ass marks or whatever, but it's true. So much of video games are the way they are because this shit is expensive as fuck to make, and we need to work in order to live, and that's it. Maybe that wasn't quite so optimistic. All right, it's 11 o'clock. We should probably go eat dinner. Stream, thank you so much for coming through. Aevee, always a pleasure to have you. What are we playing next week? We playing X? Do we want to work our way up to Marvel now?
Yeah, we're working our way up to Marvel for sure. So I mean, I don't know what are the most important steps on the way because I only have played Marvel vs. Capcom and Marvel vs. Capcom 2.
Okay.
So I don't know anything about Children of the Atom or like the beginning of the
So
first series.
I think what we can get away with is we'll do next week. Let's do a little bit of Children of the Atom. We'll do Children of the Atom and X-Men versus Street Fighter and then Marvel superheroes. And if we can fit one more in, we'll do Marvel versus Capcom 1, because there's a lot of like connective tissue between those games that you don't need to spend too much time on any given one. And by God, we are definitely going to have a full session for Marvel 2, because there's a lot of game in there. Yeah. So we'll pull that off for next week, and actually I will make a note of this in our DM conversation, because every week I'm like, yo, what were we playing again? I don't remember. Sorry. X-Men Coda. What was it? X-Men Coda, MSH, XV, SF. We'll put those 3 at least. And with that, we'll be back on stream next week with more Guilty Gear. Actually, wait, hold up a second. Shit. Next week is the Strive beta. So Aevee, we'll be playing those games on February 25th, unless the Strive beta is so bad that I'm just like, nah. Sound good?
Yeah, that sounds great. Oh, so we're skipping next week?
I mean, we can play the Strive beta together. I'm down.
Oh yeah, let's play the Strive beta together. That'll be fun.
Yeah. And I will just be complaining about Chip's broken knees. Until then, thanks everyone for coming through. Love your life, be good to one another, and play some motherfucking, what did we play today? Darkstalkers, aka Vampire Savior. Let's fucking go. Peace out, y'all. Mwah.
Good night, everyone. Sounds like audio hack.
この番組はご覧のスポンサーの提供でお送りします。
I love it. I like it. Get to hear like, because I can barely hear it